Minimum height, the minimum height is 2 feet above the base flood elevation, so the minimum height would be 52 feet. That's not 52 feet in the air, that's like if we walked on the ground and we measured it, like the ground of this building is saying it's 52 feet above sea level. So you would have to raise the building up 2 feet. So somebody down by the river, so this building would only come up this high, whereas a building down by the river would have to come up that high to be even. Right.
Are you using a topography map?
It's using a topography, and they're shooting the elevations.
But we can avoid all that by just looking at the database.
Yes, the database gives you that. The database is topography. They did shoot that.
Okay. Thank you.
I guess we're just asking as we go along.
Bridges?
Yeah. Mr. Manager, somewhat about the same question. You got the DL, you got to have some footage or some, all of that what you read in the dialogue and not there, what is it, what is it done? You talking about the whole house, down up. What is it done? You got to raise the house. Some people got 4 steps would be high enough. Some I've seen the new house there now, it's 6 steps. Go on there. You have to go be high, how many feet, and this group, how many feet is in the
Right. The BSB level is a different feet. If you look at this map, I know it's confusing, but if you look at this map, it's saying the BFE is 45 feet here, or 49 feet here, which goes across Southern Terrace. So if your house is sitting at 34 feet, then you know you got to raise it 10 feet. You get high plus 2 feet. From the ground up. From the ground up, right. So you wouldn't raise it 44 feet, you would raise it the difference. So when you walk, if everybody pretended that they lived in the same neighborhood, they walked out of the house and stood on the ground outside of your house, your ground is 44, let's just say for pretend, your ground is 44 feet. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And if you know the highest point is 46 feet, then everybody who walked out of that one house would have to raise it to 46 feet, which is 2 feet, plus another 2 feet, which is 4 feet. Everybody's ground in their house is different. You have high ground, Mr. Bridges. Your house may not have to be raised. You, sir, may have low ground. Nah, yeah, we vote. I think you should. So if somebody's lower, they have to go to that grade. Right. So no. So the rule isn't mandatory. There is a caveat in it to make it mandatory. That rule can be taken out. Right. That's what
you can kind of understand the map.
But what's going to happen?
I make it read the map, a lot of people can't read the map. Make it simple.
Yeah, flood insurance going to be high.
You're going to try to make it simple, but this is what you need to do. You know where the town hall is, the temporary town hall? Your address is on these documents.
Okay.
You can come, or either maybe we can get your address, we can mail you a letter telling you how many inches. Ms. Perkins, on that Neville Street, it says from 45 inches to 2.5 feet above where you are right now.
That's all I have.
That's all you need to do. You can find that, come to the town hall and get this. Your address is on here.
Main Street,
Everybody's address is on here, Mr. Bridges, so come to town hall, and they will look up your address and tell you how many
but it's
feet.
not mandatory. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you want to be safe, because if you don't,
And yeah, flood insurance going to be high.
And that's what I'm saying. If a flood comes in, I haven't got anything in writing from FEMA that if you get affected, Hold on.
I love this board. I'm trying to get some information. I'm asking you a question. Is it mandatory?
It is proposed to be mandatory.
We haven't voted
We haven't voted on it. It's proposed.
Okay, so he can let his house sit in and get flooded if a no. Is that right?
But what I'm saying was dangerous about that is if the maps change,
Vote on it, then they'll understand.
if the map changes and you leave your house on grade, you may not be able to afford insurance.
Right, that's the
That is
problem
a
right
way
there,
of getting
flood
taxed
insurance.
out of your property.
That's the problem right there.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Flood insurance.
If I understand the language in the ordinance correct, now when he read the ordinance in that section 2, I believe he said that there is an 18-month period of time that the whole town need to come within
Habitable.
the ordinance. And if I'm not mistaken, that someone from North Carolina Emergency Management said that there will not be funding for everyone in the town to have their homes elevated, if I'm not mistaken. So according to the language, and it's going to be mandatory if the ordinance passed, and there isn't enough funding to have the homes elevated within the pre-existing homes that are in the city limits now, and if it's mandatory, and if there are consequences to not being in compliance, and if the homeowner cannot raise that property, then what happens?
That 18 months is a fail-safe. That's a number that I got from the state, 18 to 24 months, to show our intention to comply, to make people more resilient against floods. So there are no teeth in the ordinance. There are no fines. But what we're saying is that we intend to make everyone safe, and you need to find the money. They said the same thing to us, to me, about a couple other programs, and all I said was we need to find the money. Nomenclature doesn't matter to us. But
Not to cut you off, but I also thought in the last meeting that we had a discussion about this, that there was a conversation had that you would grandfather some of the existing homes that were not damaged by the flood, and those that are already back currently, that there will be a provision possibly that would grandfather them in, but in your ordinance that you read, nothing in there grandfather anybody in. It was a 18-month period of time that everybody to come into compliance.
it was no need to do the grandfathering, because if they don't make it mandatory, then not everybody has to do it.
But by law, when you bring an ordinance to the town, does that within itself not make it mandatory?
No, you don't
It
have to.
doesn't?
What did you say that again?
When the town adopts an ordinance, it becomes law of the land for that municipality.
No. You missed it. And you have to add the word grandfathered in, but if you're gonna say it's not mandatory to build to the base flood elevation, then there's no need to add it in. There's no need to add in grandfather in it if you're going to take out it being mandatory. So that's semantics. So like, if I say it's gonna be mandatory, then you can add in, grandfathering it in. If you're not gonna make it mandatory, there's no need to grandfather it in.
Okay, but when you read the ordinance, and we as the public, we just simply understand that the way that it's being read
Right.
and presented is the way that it will be adopted.
Well, no, that is the way it is proposed. That's why I say it's proposed.
But that's what I'm
It's
saying.
proposed, and then it's up to the board to modify it, however.
But as
In the
it's,
public, right, this is just a public hearing to discuss.
right, but I mean, as it's read tonight, we ought to understand that that is the way that the board,
That is the way that I am proposing it to the board. Right, because we don't want it to be a detriment. We don't want it to be a detriment. What we're trying to say to the state is that, hey, we've been damaged, we're looking to move forward with the process of trying to bring us back and make us more resilient.
my last thing, has anybody even thought about the cost for homeowners, and what will it possibly cost just to bring? I mean,
Exactly, I thought about that cost, and I have questions about it as far as, if they were to personally do it. That's why it has no teeth in it, to personally do it. I've also thought about the cost it would be for the state to do this, and would it be cheaper just to mitigate the river? And that means fix the river from coming in here. So is it cheaper to mitigate the river or mitigate the homes? That's why I'm saying everybody needs to sign up for this, because maybe it's cheaper just to mitigate the river.
Mitigation. Mitigation. Okay, is there? You sign up, excuse me, one person at a time, you sign up.
Public hearing, you don't have to sign up, you don't have to sign up when you come to the meeting. It's a public hearing, public hearing. Yeah, answer my question.
Go ahead,
My
go ahead,
question,
Mr.
my
President. Go ahead.
question, my question is mandatory. And Joe was asking the same thing, which is you got it under consideration.
It's under consideration, it's not mandatory yet, it's not mandatory. Yes, sir.
You mentioned mitigation, that don't have anything to do with the actual resolution that you write now, so you shouldn't even mention that. And then you also mentioned that, 18 months didn't have any teeth. You can't, write up article or resolution, or pass a resolution and say it doesn't have any teeth. Once you pass that resolution, it's supposed to have teeth.
You mentioned mitigation because she asked a question about signing for what? That's the only reason you brought up mitigation.
Now, Mr. Gerald brought up mitigation, but if you pass this ordinance, it's the ordinance. And then if mitigation go on, it's still on the book. And according to the book, the house is supposed to be raised, and it's raised.
If it's passed.
If it's passed.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question, I guess, and maybe this is dealing with mitigation. When the homes are being elevated for this period of time, where are the citizens gonna be? Is there funds that are gonna be taken care of, where they're gonna be staying?
I've spoken with Tiffany, and that's what I was talking about. It's gonna be a second migration out of Princeville, basically to house people who the house that they're gonna raise. They're gonna have the space.
So what happens is, part of the grant process pays for the homeowner to be relocated while the home is being elevated. Once the home is elevated and the construction is complete, the homeowner is then able to return. Does that answer your question, Andrew?
Yeah, to a point, but I guess my question is, we're having a housing crisis right now, and if you're having people to leave again, I mean, where are they going?
And deal with that when the time comes.
That's why bringing in the temporary house is key.
Yes, sir.
I want to know, Princeville, they done anything for Princeville, people water from coming in like up again. And the first flood I got flooded, before came in with house. The last flood, after the 11, water came in, just in the park. The water comes from the river down there. Water comes from this way, fill up the backyard. When the sun turns, long time. So Princeville did too. The first that left Princeville, but it went around, it went around. So if they entered anything, keep water from coming in, 258, coming back in, going out more sunshine. Got your 4 or 5 days for water, ain't got drinking. Water got left first. 258, there's a river down there. Water came that way. That's why I got this. Went out the sun turned off now, so can the commissioner, can they guarantee that they have done anything to keep that happening, to keep water from coming?
That's what we're doing with me and with those.
You bring the house up, what percentage guarantee do y'all have that y'all have done anything for that happening?
We have met with the individuals responsible for managing the dike and the flood maps. We're having a second meeting next week, so we're moving in that direction as fast as we can.
Yeah, but water comes from that direction.
Right.
We got flooded for something.
Right.
And got 11 o'clock here. When I walk outside, I'm 6 feet, I'm not gonna live. I can walk out my front door, I'm gonna sit there.
So why is we wasting time trying to have these people house raised when you could do this mitigation for that river? Go through those dikes that need the gates and the cover. Cause like you said, the 99, when 99 came, the board members, they had a resolution and they rebuilt the dike. The water didn't come across the dike. Like he said, the water came around the dike. Why waste all this time trying to make people in Princeville raise their home? Like, okay, since I've been out this time, I learned that a stick-built house is different from a modular home and a double-wide trailer. Now, at this trailer place, they saying a double-wide trailer shouldn't be raised as high as a stick-built house and a modular home or whatever. And like I said, I read the map, I looked at my address on that map, and it said something like 10 feet. I don't want to put my double-wide home 10 feet up in the air. I mean, it would be fine with me if I had a stick-built house, a brick house, but a double-wide trailer is no way stable as these other three options. So why not just take this time to dredge that brick, dredge that river, drag it, make it deeper. They talk about saving some kind of fish out there, but I probably won't never get it. So why not just, extend the dike and stop trying to raise these folks up in the air. I mean, they did it in out of 99 floor. We came back with what they told us. You know, we got our house up to that level. Now, why you want to keep putting us up in the air? I mean, just go and get this bill, the Corps engineer, to come back, to stretch that dam out to wait. Like I said, I don't even want it to go to Southern Terrace, but it's a lot of fields out there during the summer. The folks ain't got enough water from the rain that water their crops. Have them things out their way when them folks need some water, they can use that water coming out of the river. And then when the river dry, and every time the flood comes, they sending that water down here on us from Raleigh, Rocky Mountain. When that river dry, why not let some of the water out of these dams then? They keep the, you know, when Princeville, so you go back there many times and Princeville River is dry. Why not let that water come down then when it's dry instead of waiting till God up there said he gonna send all this rain, and then you ain't got nowhere to put this water, called Princeville River Field, Rocky Mountain River Field, Raleigh Field, and then all those still got to come down here on these folks in Princeville. We get it every time. We get it every time.
I agree. I'd like to answer your question. It goes all the way back to 1999 when they took the dike down. It should have been addressed then. The dike was down. The dike was down.
They didn't take the dike down. They extended it higher. They didn't take it down.
They took it down, and after 99, they took it down, and right there's a section of 64 where it's low. You have 12 culverts under there, and that's how the water gets in. It floods the trailer park first, and then comes back. And we know that now because of the engineering report. What the state is offering is to raise the homes. And what I'm trying to show is if it's going to be that expensive to raise the homes, if you do $50,000 per home at 500 homes, that's I think $25 million. Is it cheaper just to put that into doing the river? So it is a process. So I'm having to go through the process. And as far as raising your home, there's gonna be an engineer that's gonna validate whether it can be raised or not. So nobody's just gonna raise your home without a professional
Right.
telling you that it can be.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you can raise.
Wait a minute, sir. Just a minute, sir.
You can
Ma'am,
raise.
just a minute, sir.
You can raise.
Just a minute, sir.
Wait, there's somebody right here. There's somebody right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I am in Howard from 400 Mullen Street, and I thank God that He favored me in this flood. But I want to say this, instead of all this loose-lippedness about elevation of homes, why not go forward and start working on this dike? Because before I left Commissioner office for the town of Princeville, the Corps of Engineers came in October of 2015 and made it noted to us that they had funds because they needed to come back and complete that dike. It was known then that that dike needed to be completed. So why not go forward and ask give them money, granted money, so that we can go to work on that road and that dike for whatever completion is needed. Okay? And stop worrying these people about elevation. Okay? Because a lot of people don't want to see that. And I echo on their curtain, their pain and suffering. I mean, get busy, and man, I'm putting this on your back.
Well, it's already done, ma'am.
That's what
already
Have
done.
you asked these
Yes,
people
ma'am.
more than go to work
Yes,
on
ma'am.
that?
The money that they had was for the
litigation.
money that they had was for the completion of the study. They didn't have money to complete the dike.
Right.
That's what they told us.
They didn't
That's
take
not
it to
what-
us this in June of last year. They said the study has been completed. The study now is placed on Congress's desk.
That's right.
They asked Congress for $22 million to complete the dike. Now, we need to call those legislators and tell them, we need $22 million.
Right.
To complete the study.
That's right.
Not
just me.
Anyway,
Y'all.
you say what you want to. I have a couple of cards at my house of those 2015 folks that came in and said they had the funds.
Call them, ask them where it
No,
is.
not,
Yes, sir.
I think we need, some kind of schools that we don't have to go through this. When you raise the house, they want a percentage to know what chance we have a little more storm that they don't have to do. I raise the house, but they do a little more storm and if the engineer do something to the roof or whatever, so we don't have to do this again. A little more percent confidence, a little more storms that they don't have. If you raise all the houses, but you can raise them, they want a little storm, that's just water. A little more confident, some percentage that you have a feeling that we don't have to do this.
But of course, we can't guarantee another hurricane will come. What we can guarantee is that we can do everything that we possibly can to prevent it from happening again. That's all we can say. We can do everything that we humanly can to make sure it doesn't happen. And that's my conversation with everybody that I talk to. They ask what our number one priority is, to make sure we do everything that we can do humanly possible to make sure the flood does not have an adverse effect on anybody again.
Now, first, that's a strong thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in making that statement, what you're saying, making sure that you do everything possible have to be. And I listen to what everybody's saying, and I feel, this is how I feel, like a lot of our, citizens of Princeville. To me, like I have been saying ever since we come here, to me, the focus should be on fixing the problem. All this money that you're talking about, putting in, they've been repeating so many times tonight, putting it in raising the homes. Talk to the officials about taking this money and fixing the problem. Then you have to go to raise the homes. That's number one. Even if we would have raised our homes, you're right. We have no control over when a hurricane is coming. Next time, we may be in the house leak. Water comes through. Nobody might not make it out. We don't know. Those are the things we have to consider. You have a lot of old citizens over there. We can't get around and do like we used to. And it is my main concern for me has been about born and raised there, moved back, living for 18 years, and go through this a third time? That's what helped us make our mind up. What do we want to do? I mean, anybody with common sense would know. You don't want to keep going through this again. I'd rather just say, hey, I'm going to move on somewhere else, because it's nothing's being resolved. Like for 5 months, we've been going through the same, come to the beach, you hear the same thing. We need to push the government and say, you all need to come in here and do something about that life. We know what caused the problem. Then it's your responsibility to fix it. It makes it, the way, all these things we have to go through, it makes it look like we did it. And it's frustrating.
Understand.
It's affecting us health-wise. You really don't know how bad this is.
We understand. Now, why do you think that the health care plan did not pass last week? Because the people came to those town hall meetings and raised holy Cain to their legislature. So I can't do anything by myself. Y'all have to raise some Cain as well. Power is in numbers. Power is in numbers. Exactly right. Tell them what you want. I tell them every day, but I'm only one person. This board members tell them every day. We're only 5, but y'all make the difference.
Okay, but have anyone got the citizens together and said, hey, you know, a lot of times people sit back. They're waiting for, you say you're the leader. We need you to send petitions to Raleigh or whoever needs to go and say, call town hall meeting and have it here. When the governor came here, half people didn't even know he was coming. Where did he go? He went up to the school. He should have been over to that trailer park to see how our people is living. That's where he should have been. But to me, you can't have a school if you don't have the people in the town.
Yes, ma'am.
Going along with what she's saying, how do we find out who to talk to? How do we know which legislator to say something to? Can you give us that information?
Sure. There's one right here. Commissioner that's local. She tell you it's Senator Smith Ingram, Representative Willingham, Congressman Butterfield.
So we're just going to state legislature.
Well, Butterfield is federal.
Do we go through you, Ms. Harris?
Now, you can go directly to your congressman. All you gotta do is go to the website, or you can load up the bus and you can go to
Which one you definitely most
go to
direct?
Washington DC. But, GK Butterfield has a website. And if you go in there, he will answer your questions.
Which one do you think is most effective?
Be in the galley. Load the bus.
That's right, no.
Without you or with you?
That's no problem. I go to Raleigh every month, so
Should we go with you?
you can go anytime you want to, anytime there is a session. You can go and be in the galley in the general center. on Jones
That
Street.
information online?
It is, and he
For
has
the
a
people who don't have the internet, how can they get there? Is there a 1-800 number?
Bobby, Mayor
I
Johnson,
have a
now,
list in my office. Go to the library, you can get online free.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Yolanda Pickman. For those that need to know Janelle, you can call GK Butterfield in DC. That number for those who have their pen is 202-225-3101. He also has an office in Durham, 919, that's coming, 908-0164. And then as she said in Wilson, 252-237-9816. That office in Wilson is at 216 Northeast Nash Street, Suite B. And he's more than happy to hear from us.
The first number was?
20, I turned from it, 202. Somebody tell me they already have it. 225.
Got on the screen.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You all talk about going to Washington, that won't cut it. Is you call all of your representatives, the
Butterfield, England, Angela Bryan, Shannon Willingham, invite them in your community in Princeville and show them. You go to Washington, you just gonna get on the outside. You go to Raleigh, you're gonna stand up in the gallery. You need to talk directly to the people that you elect. Call them, invite them. I've there to invite them to come to Princeville and you tell them the same thing that you tell them tonight. Because going to Washington, you won't cut it. Going to Raleigh, up in the gallery, you just up there. But bring them to Princeville and tell them, show them what you're talking about. That's the way you do it. You know, because who you got in the White House now, you all might be in jail. But bring them to Princeville. Bring them to Princeville.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to, my name is Edgecombe, and I wanted to ask the question about the town hall. With the location and the elderly and the people that need to come out, they have a lot of things that they want to say, questions that they want to ask. Transportation is a big problem. With the town hall being located out as far as it is, for some of the citizens, could it not be located in the town since they are bringing the FEMA trailers in? Could they not do what they did the last time, bring the trailers in and locate them somewhere in the town, set up a location for the town hall for business or whatever is needed, so that we can have a primary place to meet, to transact our business, to let things daily go on without us having to leave here and shoot through here, you know, when we live right over there. If they're gonna bring those trailers in, do it all. Let us start from somewhere instead of having to do it this way.
That's what we're trying to do,
We
moving
keep
forward.
hearing this stuff.
Hold on, that's what we're trying to do. The reason why you cannot have a trailer over there right now, like boom, like right now,
I didn't say that.
is because you have to build the trailers or you have to raise them to that 66, no higher than 66 inches. So that is the issue. So we have to find a locale to where we can put a trailer in and not have to raise it. Yes, I know that's.
Put them in Pine Valley, they can put the town hall in Pine Valley.
They gotta raise them, no, though.
I mentioned this to him, Mr. Gerald some months ago. That those people, we need our town hall in our town of Princeville. Right. That is our home.
I do agree.
That's our home.
I do agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. That's what we're trying to work through right now. That's exactly what we're working through. So if we can progress through this meeting, we can get to those hot spots and move through and then get to what you citizens want to have.
Yeah, but you need to get out some excuses off the board and put, some action out there. Let the citizens see some action in Princeville now, because we've been waiting for Princeville too long.
Amen. Yes, sir.
I'm just assuming we're still on the ordinance.
Yeah.
So what is the next step as far as that's concerned with me? Is there a plan for